If there is a team that knows more about injuries than the Green Bay Packers, it's certainly the New York Giants. But the Packers get some massive injury news that we're going to talk about here in this video. First, I want to take a second and apologize. I haven't made a video in about a week, which means I didn't make a video post that Monday night matchup against the Philadelphia Eagles. Man, there was so much to talk about, so much that I wanted to say in that video. I was away on vacation. I was in the mountains of Tennessee. If there wasn't a better scene than at Lambeau Field, the next best would have been in a cabin going from the hot tub to watch Monday Night Football in a snow globe that was in the mountains of Tennessee. And man, that game, you couldn't have asked for a better game defensively from the Green Bay Packers. Jeff Hafley and the defense stood up like very well, only to fall short. And man, I've got some serious concerns about Matt LaFleur, which we're going to talk about also. But let's jump into the massive injury news that the Green Bay Packers suffer. Kicker Brandon McManus, right quad. He has been ruled out. He's added to the injury report as doubtful. He's not going to play against the New York Giants. Malik Heath is also ruled out for tomorrow. He's not even traveling with the team, which means that Lucas is going to be the man to step up, which quite frankly, I've got a little bit more confidence in this dude than McManus at the moment, just because of the injuries that McManus suffered. I think his confidence is rocked. And just like a golfer, a kicker, man, when your confidence is shaken, it seems like you can't make anything. And so far, Lucas is 4 for 4. He hit a 61 yarder, 100% so far in the year. So I think he's going to step in very nicely against a very injured New York Giant team. But the Packers add to their injury report with those. Man, there are so many exciting games going on. And with that being said, I have teamed up with DraftKings Sportsbook. If you're like me and you love the thrill of sports betting and you're confident in that team or that player, I know I've got my own take. I'm sure you guys got your own take. Why not place that bet using DraftKings Sportsbook? DraftKings is the best platform to bet on touchdowns. They are the best platform to place live bets this NFL season. DraftKings has all your favorite ways to bet on touchdowns. Don't wait. Get in using my promo code ST Wisconsin when signing up. Once again, that is my promo code ST Wisconsin when signing up. The crown is yours. So you've got, Aaron Banks did not practice on Friday. He was resting. I do think Aaron Banks is going to play. But that is one of those concerns when we talk about the offensive line. And speaking of which, let's go back to the Philadelphia Eagles game. So you had third down efficiency, 5 of 13 for the Packers, passing yards 157, rushing yards 104. But we're talking about the offensive line. I don't want to rehash what that game already meant this last week, but I do want to bring up, there were some inefficiencies on this Packer team that they can't replicate against the New York Giants. This is a New York Giants team that is very feisty, and the Packers are playing them at the best time if you want to have an easy win. But man, there just doesn't seem to be any easy wins out there for the Green Bay Packers. 5 punts, sacks allowed 3. So the offensive line has really got to step up in a big way. I was super pumped up and excited when we were looking at our offensive line, and you're looking at the depth of the offensive line, and it was just like, okay, we finally got our offensive front here. Let's see what we can do. And then Elton Jenkins goes out, and it didn't look that bad of an injury. I certainly expected to see him back this week, if not the week after, but then they lose him for the year. And man, he was having a difficult time at center. So now there's going to be some shuffling around. The Packers are just get more depleted on the offensive line. But Aaron Banks, I do think, will play. Getting back to this week's game time decisions, Matthew Golden is questionable. He was limited in practice all week. Nate Hobbs is ruled out. He's not going to play due to a knee injury. Still, you got McManus doubtful. He's not going to play. Luke is going to be their kicker. Micah Parsons, again, that's not a bad thing. Lucas Van Ness, questionable. He was limited in practice. It would be great to get this guy out there because the Packers put some pressure on Hurts, and it's going to be great to see what additional pressure they can add when they get a valuable asset like Lucas Van Ness added to the depth of Micah Parsons and Rashawn Gary. I'm excited to see that. And then you've got Savion Williams ruled as questionable as well. He was limited in practice. I don't see a reason why he is not going to be out there playing. But here's the thing: the Giants are just completely injured right now from their best players on down. Right, you got Jackson Dart ruled ruled out, and he's certainly the better quarterback for the Giants right now. Um, Absolutely, without a doubt. And then you've got Golston was ruled out as well, along with their offensive tackle Neal, along with a couple of others, Darius Slayton, wide receiver, who we're all familiar with, linebacker Kavion Thiobox, can't pronounce that dude's name. So they've got a couple of other that are potentially doubtful, but when you look at the depth chart of the New York Giants, talk about losing some key pieces. Scadaboo was that entire backbone of that team. Scadaboo was the heartbeat and pulse of why all of a sudden, they were so good. And now you've got Jackson Dart, who's now out, but that's another guy, man. Those two guys coupled together, it was breathing life into a very lifeless New York Giants team. And then you've got Darius Slayton ruled out. But man, you lose guys like Malik Neighbors for the season. A lot of others. You can go down the list here. You can see the IRs out for the season's IR out. IR. There's tons of them on this team. Okay. So the Giants are really, really struggling to get healthy. And then you look at the Green Bay Packers, who, again, you look at some IRs on here. You got Marshawn Lloyd, who, man, that's just been incredibly disappointing for us as Packer fans. Disappointing for him, I'm sure. Disappointing for the Packer organization using the draft pick when they did. They knew he had injuries, but man, he just can't seem to get healthy. You got Jaden Reed, who cannot wait to see that guy back. Hopefully later in the season we can get Jaden Reed back. You got Malik Keith ruled out, Matthew Golden questionable. So we're kind of getting thinner at wide receiver at our wide receivers because you lose a guy like Tucker Kraft. And man, you certainly felt it in that Philadelphia game because it's like Matt LaFleur didn't know what to do or how to incorporate Musgrave in for Tucker Kraft. So man, again, very disappointing when we start talking about Matt LaFleur in his offensive play calling, his lack of trust in Jordan Love. Put the ball in Jordan Love's hand. That's why you paid him what you did. He's certainly capable of it. And the offensive line, the offensive line is certainly not looking like they're going to open up any big gaps for Josh Jacobs anytime soon. So why not put the ball in Jordan Love's hands? He's certainly going to get it done. He can even get it done with his legs if he needs to. So, but Elton Jenkins, that's a huge loss for the Green Bay Packers on their offensive line. Yes, he wasn't having a great season. Yeah, but now you've got Sean Ryan to fill in for that. But man, you just get thinner on our offensive line. And then you look at our secondary. I'm sorry, our defense. You've got Bretton Cox on IR, Colin Oliver, Nate Hobbs is ruled out. So the Packers have got their own injuries, but not as bad as the Giants. This is certainly a very winnable game. I want you guys to leave your comments. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts about Matt LaFleur. Are you as disappointed with his play calling as I am this season? They just can't seem to get a rhythm. I don't think it's to do with their offensive line. I think their offensive line is a byproduct for Matt LaFleur's play calling ability, in my opinion. Yes, their offensive line has played terrible, but I do think Matt LaFleur up his game for sure. I want you guys to leave your comments. Let me know, are you guys on that same boat as I am? And as always, go Pack Go.